Hey guys, how's it going? This is ExtrmWill here with a pro tip for noobs. We're going to be, just a tip, we're going to be talking about mastery today. I said I was going to do this a while ago. I've been looking forward to doing it. So we're going to get in here and we're going to get it done. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff. I was originally going to live stream this because I think live streaming this would have been pretty cool. But I don't feel like dealing with 1,000 questions and I want to post it up. I'm on Beam, Hitbox, Twitch, and YouTube. I don't have any videos on Beam, Hitbox, or Twitch yet, so I want to start putting my training videos on there. So I think I'm going to start filming them outside, and then I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to post them. What I'm going to do for this, though, I think we're going to not look at my pretty face. We're going to transition over, so I'm just going to show you the game screen, but you're still going to get to hear me talking and all that. And then what I'm going to do, too, I'm going to use my mouse as I point out and tell you kind of what I want to do and what I'm doing and where I'm going as we talk about all of it. So let's just go up to masteries right here up on the top. Looks like I got a new top champion now. Oh man, that is nice. Wow. Oh wow, he is craziness. So yeah, I'll get into that more in my news feed. I didn't really realize that he was that good when I start live streaming after this. But we're going to do right now, we're going to do mastery. I'm going to change my setting up a little bit. Kind of the best stuff I've heard about mastery is there's no really right way to do mastery, but there's definitely a lot of wrong ways to do mastery. So I'll kind of show you real quickly kind of what I have on all of them, so you can kind of get a little bit of an idea of what I was using before. And then when we go back in and I start doing it, we're going to start, I believe you start getting mastery at about level 7. So we're going to start, I'm going to go just square by square what I think the best progression would be. I mean, you're allowed to do any variation thereof. I'm pretty much going to try to help you set up your base. There's definitely things I have in here that I don't like that I want to fix. And certain things I don't think I'm taking enough advantage of because at one time or other I had miscounted. So I need to go back and recount them correctly. Yeah, let's get in it. Let's just recover. Yep. Recover. Yep. And recover. Yep. I wasn't even planning on using these recovery stones. Oh, you know what I just thought about? Oh, I need like 50 more energy to do this. That's all right. I'll get it worked out. I'm not going to fill in one square. I'm going to have to leave one square open. So there's kind of going to be 2 ways to do this. I'm going to think this is going to be the best way to do it to start off with. If you go back and watch my training progression video, or your fighting progression, how you should progress as you're going through the game, I may reshoot that one too. You'll go through and see some of this stuff. I'll discuss kind of what you need and kind of how you need it to do the different chapters. To make the game a little easier, we're going to start with attack. So the first one you're going to want to buy is this first one in strength, because you have to buy the front square in order to get the ones going in behind it afterwards. So I don't know how much any of these costed to start with, which I guess is a little bit disappointing. But all of your units are going to wind up going into this until you hit probably like level 30 or 40 at least. I mean, you know, even until you hit level 60, you could still be putting all of your units into this and still not be that close to being done, depending on how much you want to buy over in this region. These are all really crazy expensive, but they're worth it. That's something, they're going to make your champion so much stronger. So we're going to start off here. We're going to be off for this one. It's not really that good because it's a fixed number. When you're starting off, it may feel like it's good, but because the fixed number is so low, you know, this one, you're increasing your attack by 6. Let's come over here and let's look at something like this. Oh, that's not a fixed number. I don't think any of these are fixed numbers. But like, say, like, okay, that one you're increasing your attack by 6. How about like this one, right here? This is going to be probably the single best one you're going to get. This one right here. What are you ranking up? Increase your critical damage. You can increase your critical damage by up to 300%. So I mean that, you know, that first number you have in that first square is really Nothing. This one is just going, the only reason you're buying this one is because you have to buy it to get to the next one. So that's probably going to be the first one you're going to want to buy. This one right here is probably going to be the next one you're going to buy. This one's a little bit better, but honestly it's still not any good. You still wind up getting, it's still very small amounts. With putting 9 into here, you still only have an 8% increase in your strength. Whereas you get over here to Gauze Cannon, and with putting 3 into Gauze Cannon, you get 7.2 added into your strength. You do lose 7.2 total health, but it winds up being worth it because of how much you're getting boosted in. Because each square is still only 1 mastery point. Then we're going to buy this one just to get us there. So right now you should be at about level 9. You should still just be winning by punching guys in the face. You should still be in the middle of Act 1. You probably haven't started to actually learn anything about how to fight yet or anything like that. So we're going to keep going in this progression. You don't want to have spent any of your units on anything else yet, because I believe those first 2 I think you can buy with just gold. This one though, I think you actually have to get a stone mastery core in order to buy. So this one, you know, this one starts getting expensive. I think it's 150 units for the stone mastery core in order to buy it. And you're going to wind up needing a lot of stone mastery cores as you're going through all of this. So Pierce is going to be the next one you're going to want to get. It's a pretty decent one. I still only put 1 into it because I think overall it just winds up not being that good. The base I'm going to use for offense is pretty much the base that everyone uses for offense. So you still, let's see, 7, 8, 9, so then level 10. You're going to want to try to get this one. I think this one gets a little bit more expensive too. I don't remember exactly how much it is to get into there, but you'll want to get that one. And then here's where you're going to run into a massive roadblock. This is probably one of the single best squares for mastery in the game. This is probably going to give you the largest jump in PI. It may be like the 3rd largest jump in PI, but this is the largest jump in PI that you're going to notice that you're going to use every single day that you actually want. There's other squares that you can buy to get a jump in your, to increase like your champions, your prestige level, but it's not, they're not as useful, I guess. So this one's where it's going to start getting really interesting, because I think it's 2 stone mastery cores to unlock it, so that's 300 units. And then I believe every level you take it up, it was 2 stone mastery cores too. So it's another 300 units for every single level. But this is going to be your primary focus, is getting this one right here all the way maxed out to 5. Now you're probably not going to be able to afford 300 units every level at this time. So we're going to go back and we're going to start working on some of the other things you need to do too. So you can kind of mix and match this as you're going. Limber. This one's pretty good. You're not necessarily buying this one for the sake of buying this one. You're probably not getting stunned a whole lot. You've probably seen some stun champions. You've probably got stunned. It's probably not the end of the world to you. You probably haven't fought a real strong storm yet or anybody yet who's just completely killed you because of stun. But this one will really help to get rid of that. So this is in your utilities. So we'll take that to rank 1. Your dexterity, you need to evade. This is really, really good. It's also going to jack up your critical on your next attack. So you want to put 1 into there because that will simply allow you to evade. Evading is going to be when you back up in a battle. When you do it correctly, when he's trying to attack you, you get a automatic critical hit on your next hit. So it's really helpful. That's one of the best things in the game. And then right here is parry. Parry is pretty hard, but you're going to want to get it. If you can time the block out just right, you can stun the guy you're fighting against. This is how everyone who's really good at the game, this is pretty much how they fight. So you want to do parry next. The whole time you're going to keep working on your offense, trying to fill in this spot as best as you can. as you're going up levels. So we'll say maybe you got lucky and you've gotten 2 more into there by the time you've done your utilities. And we're going to get in here to defense. This first one, once again, I mean, because it's a fixed number, it's not that good. You're really just opening it to get to the next one. And then for here, you're really just opening this one to get to the next one. I don't know exactly how much everything costs, and it's going to vary depending on how much you have. But your progression on these is you're going to want to come up here. You're going to want to get these, you recover 1 health per second for 60 seconds, no effect on robots. You want to get salve. Help you recover a little bit. Now granted, getting that 1 hit point per second is not necessarily going to be huge. I don't know if you're necessarily going to see a real huge difference in it, but it will help. And then, oops, increase any health your champion recovers during a fight by 5%. Rank that one up. This one's going to become really huge. So your champions like Wolverine and X-23, Red Deadpool, all of like the Iron Man tech armor who have the heal, or the Stark armor, Ultron, Groot is my big healing champion. It used to work really nice with Doctor Strange. I don't know if it still works with Doctor Strange or not, or if his is just fixed and this doesn't affect it anymore, because this should affect it and make Doctor Strange stronger too. So you want to get recovery. And then we'll say on offense, you're going to work on this. The next path you're also going to work on, you're going to want to go here. Increase critical rate of all champions by 15%. Because that's pretty good. But still, this is the lesser increase. And then this is, well, this should be greater precision, but I guess it's just precision. You'll get a much better increase on these. The general rule of thumb is you want everything as far to the right as you can possibly get it. So, I mean, you probably still want to keep working on your offense first. We may go back to defense here for a second, though. Start working on getting some of these. Increase your block proficiency. This is going to be good. Well, blocking your champion has a 10% chance to perform a perfect block. That's good. I'll come over here one more. While blocking your champion has a 17% chance to resist a perfect block. That's good. Utilities. While your champion inflicts stun, it lasts for an additional second. Additional 0.1 seconds. That's good. The stuff starts to add up. I mean, you take into account how quickly you guys start throwing damage. And then when I go in, and we're just going to start filling the rest of these kind of in. We want to go as far over as we can for the most part. So this one is going to be the one that's going to be, this should really be your primary focus, is getting this square and getting it filled up, but it's going to take you a while, and it's going to take a lot of discipline to get up there. Not spending your units on other things. Don't buy any premium hero crystals, especially with the upgrade that just came through. You really don't want to do any premium hero crystals. For a couple of different reasons. Like the new arena setup they have, you're going to be able to get, you should be trying to earn so many through there that you're really not going to need to. So we'll take this all the way up to max. And your goal is, for offense, you need 15 points in the front. For defense, you need 15 points in the front. And for utility, I think you need 11 points in the front. And then that will open up your ability to start getting to all the fun stuff, where all the magic happens. Where your champion starts doing crazy, crazy things, and you start getting pretty ridiculous abilities. And here, my one specifically that's really crazy, is Mystic Dispersion. This is probably the one that I want more than everything else right now, especially with having Mordo as my top champion. Your Mystic champions acquire 2% power each time an enemy benefit expires. This works awesome with Doctor Strange. Probably works probably the best with him. It probably works really well too with magic, because anything that they're able to dispel or stop also works really well with Scarlet Witch. Everything that they dispel and stop counts as it stopping, so they get more power back. So they can keep getting their power bar all the way up to full, so they can keep pumping out like L2s and L3s just like that, and just really tear through guys. So I need to do 11 in the front of that, but we'll go off. I still believe kind of offense first. Probably offense first, utility second, defense third. My personal preference. So we'll get our 15 in the front here. You know, it's probably going to take you a while to do. Your offense here is going to be really, really expensive to get done. Alright, so now you can see I can now buy Gauze Cannon. And I can buy Despair. Some people absolutely love Despair. They have it maxed out. They think it's like one of the better things in the game. I don't really think it's that big a deal. I especially don't think with the update it's going to be that big a deal. I think it's okay. I try not putting that much into it, but see, we'll get back here for defense then. Now this one I've always had up to... I've had it maxed out before, but you know what? Actually, I think I'm not going to max it out this time. I think I'm going to try and go a little bit different build here. I am going to max this one out, though. Max out my recovery. Then we're going to come down here, and I'm going to max out my blocking proficiency, because this is going to have a greater effect on everything you try doing with blocking. Your ability to parry, your ability to perfect block, all of it. This is going to help out every aspect of, you know, your defense and trying to turn your defense into offense. So you get 15 here. Well, blocking your champion is a 1% chance from perfect block. I don't really do a whole lot of blocking, so we'll just kind of split it up here a little bit. Blocking your champion is 17% chance. So you get one more for defense here. Let's see. Well, blocking champion is 20% chance to resist block break. We will go that one up instead. Now, I don't know if they've changed the way it does the values yet or not now, as opposed to before, as they put real numbers in. You know, I might be better only putting 1 here into perfect block, and maybe putting 4 into stand your ground. Stand your ground, those numbers are going to be more realistic. I can tell you right now, the perfect block, those numbers are not what it's saying right now it is. It's not going to be 2 or 3%. It's probably significantly higher than that. Alright, utility. I'm going to max out parry. This is one I need to be careful and count on. Put 1 into petrify. There's going to be a bunch of different ways you can do this. You're kind of going to customize it around how exactly you're playing. I know some guys put dexterity all the way up. I use a lot of dexterity, but I don't know. Maybe. How about with all the dexterities? How about I go back to maxing it out? Now utility, I mean, this is where I'm really gonna start to customize what I'm playing and how I'm gonna play the defense of my champion. With the offense and defense, I don't think you start customizing it more until you get to like that second tier. You notice there isn't really a whole lot of second tier really in here. This is all like being able to look and see kind of like what it is you're looking at. You know, you can see certain classes when you're in there, and inside like Alliance War, it can be kind of helpful and handy, but it's not going to make your champions like unstoppable. So we need 11 here. How do I want to do this? Actually, I want limber probably more. Because I don't want to die if I accidentally get stunned. Because you can get stunned quite a bit. Alright. So this is how I'm going to set up my base for my offense. For my defense. And for my utility. Let's go back and let's talk about some of these ones I'm not using right now. This one right here, Courage, it raises your PI up a whole lot, but my intent is to never have my health below 50 anyways. My basic goal is to not get hit. So because my goal in fighting is to not get hit, I should never be below 50% health. I should never be able to use this, ever. So there's no point in me investing in something that I'm not ever going to be able to use. I mean, that's a bad, flawed logic and strategy. So, I mean, there are times I do get hit, but I don't think this is going to be that effective of a use. This isn't going to be as effective as something that I'm going to use, whereas instead I'm using the 2 over here. These numbers are always, you know, applied, and I'm always using them. So I don't see a real reason to be using this one because it's just not getting it done for me, you know? So we'll come down here. Because I didn't buy that one, I don't think oh, maybe I do have an option of buying these. I just don't think they're strong enough. I used them before, and I didn't think they're strong enough, and I still don't think that they're really strong enough. Now, if I was playing specifically champions who used Fury, like I think the new Hulk, how they change him around, I think he uses Fury. My Groot might use Fury. So maybe I may want to look into it, maybe, but I still don't want to. It's still not... It's still just not going to do what these two are doing. I mean, this is pretty well widely accepted. This is really how you do it, you know? And then if you don't have the money to buy the stuff, you don't have the money to buy the good stuff, you know, you don't have the units, I should say units. You don't have the units to buy the good stuff, then, you know, you settle for, you know, then you start settling here. Or, you know, put more rank up these two then if you don't have the money for it. They're probably just gold anyways. I don't think they're... I don't know if I unlocked them. If I spent units, if I'd spend stone cores on them, or if they were just gold. You know, where you start saving up to buy, because this next tier stuff that we're going to get into, this next stuff is expensive. It's going to take a lot of units. I mean, you're going to start talking over 1,000 units to open a square up, you know, for the most part, and then, you know, 1,000 units to take it up a level. So it takes a while. So, as I like to start with offense first, that's where we're going to start. We're going to do Despair. Not that I really like Despair that much, but Despair is what we need to do to get to where we need to get to. Did I cover everything? I think I just covered offense. On defense, one of the guys in my alliance is trying to tell me that I should spend some money on these, increase energy resistance for all champions. I'm going to go ahead and say no. The amounts you're getting from this, I haven't really looked at the new totals that much, is so small, and it does so much of, like, nothing, that, I mean, it's, you know, because these are, what, like 20 piece for physical resistance? So let's take a look really quickly at him, and then we'll come back into mastery. What do his numbers look like? So... I don't have any of those in here as numbers yet. As listed numbers. But yeah, I mean, why don't they have any in here as a number? Well, I guess they just don't. But I mean, if you look for the most part at my numbers, you know, right now my attack for him is at like 900. My defense is at 11,000. Like, do I need to add 20 onto that? No. It's just, It's just not going to be worth it. Let's get back into mastery. Certain defense. So yeah, I just kind of think these two right here, just in general, kind of useless. Let's see, is this mutant? Tech. You're out tech. Field inhibits power gain by 4%. This might not be too bad if you're going mass tech. I don't really know anybody who does. A lot of these class-specific ones, the real big ones are the skill. If you go real skill heavy. But it's still one of those like, why do you really want to be... Oh, wow. Maybe that's why. I didn't realize it jumped up that high when you went up higher. I mean, I know it gets really expensive, but... Wow. Because these are like crazy expensive. Like the first one I think is... What does it say it is? It says 5 of the red cores to open. And then the second one would be 10. Third one would be 20. Fourth one, then I think it was like 40. And then that fifth one, I don't even know. It was like 60 maybe. But they're like crazy. It winds up being crazy expensive to go up and buy more and keep going up. It was really difficult. And something that's kind of becomes really annoying too, because you wind up having a ridiculously large amount invested in, you know, just a very small handful of champions that you can't really use like across the board. So, but it can be really good if you have a lot of skilled champions. I mean, it could have been one. I was thinking about using it for a while, but I'm going Mystic heavy instead. So we're gonna go to utility, and this right here is where I'm gonna put all of mine. Your Mystic champion acquires 2% power gain each time an enemy benefit expires. Most Mystic champions have the ability too to cancel out abilities. Or if you're fighting somebody like Groot, you just, I mean, every time he has that whole big string of things that all expire, I mean, you wind up getting back your full power bar. So I'm going to put 2 into Mystic Dispersion, because that's what I'm doing to personalize this towards my account. So, and towards who I'm using. On defense, this isn't necessarily personalizing, but maybe it might be a little bit of like personal habit. For each type of deterring effect you suffer, you regenerate 0.5 health per yada yada. We're going to rank this up willpower, and we're going to take it all the way to rank 3. So this will really help you out, help keep you alive anytime you're bleeding, or they do an armor break on you, or poison, you get shocked. Armor breaks are like one of the ones I think are kind of like cooler, because you're not taking any, you don't actually take any damage when they break your armor. If you can avoid getting hit, a lot of times I'll just evade all the way back in the corner and I won't fight while it's going, and I'll just get like 0.7% of my health back, you know. And I think willpower works with this, so you actually get an extra 15% on top of the 0.7%. So it works out pretty nice. It's also kind of how you counteract on offense. If when we start going this route, when you get these two are called the suicides, because when you use them, it'll this one specifically, it'll increase your tech by 10%, but you suffer 0.6% health each second for the entire length of the match. So there's no way you're going to live through. You know, you're not going to be able to, you know, fight very well over a long period of time. You're not going to do Alliance Quest or Alliance War. You're going to have a hard time questing either with it, because you're going to keep taking so much damage. So the way you counteract it then is with your willpower on your defense. Like you can't run these without willpower. It's just not an option. Here's the other one. This is the one that I think is probably a little bit better that I probably should have done, because this one you don't take damage for the whole time. I think you take a greater amount of damage, but it's only for a certain amount of time, and there's more ways to counteract your bleeding. We'll get into with defense up here. Let me see, I'm starting to run out of points more now, so let me make sure I don't mess this up too much. So we're going to go to Coagulate. Champion takes 10% less damage from any bleed he suffers. So we'll put 1 into there. We'll probably come back to that in a minute. Just want to make sure we get everything done that we need done, because we're starting to run out of points. We're also running out of squares we're going to invest in. This one, I don't think does anything really good. I think this one's really dumb, so we're not going to do it. This one's another way you can really customize your account really easily. Bleed your champions, inflict lasts 0.5 seconds longer. If they have more health than target, requires you do more damage. But you can see like it gets a lot stronger, you know, the more you put into it. So if you're running like Wolverine and X-23 and Black Panther and DPX, and like you're using a variation of those guys, or like Captain America World War II, I think he actually has the strongest bleed in the game, or Gwenpool. You know, if you're running them, you know, and that's your offense for Alliance War and Alliance Quest, and who you're questing with basically is those guys. Taking this up to level 5, I mean, one of the guys in my alliance, he had it figured out. He's using Hawkeye. He's got him as 4-star. He's got him at tier 5. He has a 99 signature ability with this up to level 5. I think his bleed says it's supposed to do something like 100,000 damage, just something insanely ridiculous. Because they must have miscalculated something when they were putting him up and not realizing it was going to wind up going up that much. So I wouldn't doubt if that gets buffed and taken care of, because he can't be putting out that much bleed damage. But you know, you can really get it up to the point. I mean, you can drop guys super fast with bleed. I don't really have a lot of bleed champions, so I only need one into it. I'm not really getting it for the sake of getting it. I'm getting it for the sake of this one. I think this is probably, once you get past this right here, this is number 1. This is the single best one. I feel like this is probably number 2 for offense. Should be a pretty big priority. You want to try to give it as quick as you can. Just the numbers on this wind up being insane. When you're fighting too, when the computer gets below 18% health, the computer gets far more aggressive, and they get a lot harder to kill. So this can really help minimize your damage on that. Like, I can't tell you how many times in the last 2 weeks I've got the computer down to 5% damage, and then the computer will use a special to stun me and then land a combo off on me. Instead of me being at full health at the end of the fight, I've had to leave, you know, half health or 25% health because the computer got lucky with 5% left, you know, with just a very small amount of health left. So this one is amazing. And obviously, you know, the higher up you go, the better it gets. We are going to begin off with 1. And then I need to do those, but I miscalculated this. When I was doing my summoner advancement yesterday, I accidentally bought gold crystals like I know I did not want to do, because I said, hey, I got a bunch of units, why don't I mess around? Not thinking about the fact that I was going to do this today and I wanted to buy assassin. So I'm going to intentionally end this video with me having 1 point left that I can come back and put into assassin. What I am going to do though is we are going to rank up gauze cannon because it gets pretty nice. And I'm going to rank it up again. And I think I'm going to rank it up again. Gauze Cannon's 1 too. It actually winds up being a lot cheaper than a lot of these other ones that are over here towards the end. I'm going to max Gauze Cannon out because I'm not doing a suicide, so it still boosts my attack up quite a bit. But I'm not taking like all of the losses from having a suicide up. Because the suicides I will not do because of this one. Increase special attack for all champions by 10%, but suffer 5% health for each activity. So what essentially this means is you cannot use your L1s for any champion anymore once you have it. Because once you do, you start killing yourself very, very fast. So like when you're in... I love fighting guys who I see have their suicides on. I love it when guys, you know, turn suicide on before they come into into the arena, or when guys leave the suicides on when they set their defense for Alliance War. I love it. I'm not really that worried about getting hit by him. I'm not that good at fighting yet, but I'm good enough at fighting where I'm really not worried about it. My goal is not to let them hit me in general while I'm fighting. So I'm not that worried about it. Part of not letting them hit you though is, when they get their special up, you bait them into using it. Dork Lessons has videos on how to do it, how to do all the different fighting techniques. So I would highly recommend watching those. If you watch this, go check out his videos. His whole training lessons, they're amazing. Explain everything in such great detail on how to fight. I could never explain to you anywhere close as well as he does. So I'd highly recommend those. On the bottom of my YouTube page, there should be, he is one of the ones that I subscribe to. So I think if you go to my page, you should see his name on the bottom for Dork Lessons. You can just click on that and watch his Dork Lessons. I'd recommend subscribing to him too. He's really good to watch. He takes a lot of good angles and stuff. He sees the game in kind of a different perspective than I do. I think a different perspective than most people do. So I don't want to spend half the time talking about it, but he's really good. He's got a lot of real good stuff in there. But yeah, when you bait the special out, then you make him use the special and you avoid it. You dodge it, or or you block it if you have to. If he takes 5% damage every time, plus he's bleeding, and or plus taking damage from poison, he's not going to last very long. You don't have to do a whole lot, So I'm not a big fan of it though. While I was using it, I felt like I was taking more damage in Alliance War and Alliance Quest from the recoil and the suicide than I was from being hit. And I just wasn't liking it. So I started it, I took it off. It does have practical uses though. Well, I don't know if recoil necessarily does, but the suicides do. The biggest use for the suicides, which is these two, is to have them all maxed out. And when you go into the arena, because they give you the biggest jump and boost for your PI, so that raise your total scores up. So when you go in the arena, and if you're going to go for the featured 4-star champion, and you need to get 9 million points or 18 million points or something like that. I mean, it's a pretty ridiculous amount. They're doing it by inflating their PI as much as they can, and they set their mastery in a way you wouldn't really want to play with it, but it's set up to increase your score the highest. Now, the way I'm trying to show you how to do this, we're setting your mastery up to be the most practical. So it will work the best for you. You'll get the most bang for the buck. And you're not going to be wasting on stuff you don't really need. Because what they would do here instead is they may invest over here more, or I'm not even sure right offhand exactly what build they would use to have the highest possible score. I heard one that said the idea was, obviously your first is set up exactly like this, I think. Maybe instead of, you take one less here and you put that one here. And then you max this out, max this out, max this out, max this out. Oops, I can't switch. And then you come here and you max this out. I believe Ronan Noob, he's the one who's written all the guides on mastery and how to use them and what they all mean. I think he was calling it his Magnum PI, basically say his max PI, but kind of give it a slick name of the old TV show. Saying that was probably the way he found to do the best, just maxing that. And I don't think he put anything in defense at all. I don't know if he had. I think he went in defense. I think he literally had defense set at 0 when doing it. Because it gives you a really high PI. You're good enough. You should be able to fight through. You don't necessarily have to have it, but this is what we're gonna set to keep you alive the longest. And then we're going to put the rest into here, but I need to save 1 because we're going to reduce bleed. But I'm going to save 1. Oops. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I messed up when I was doing this originally. The guy who was helping me, the first time he showed me, it basically does the exact same thing as that. So I still have the 30%. he showed it to me like this with his picture. He didn't include the last box, so I assumed this box and this box were both maxed out. And I did not realize the secondary box is not as good. The first one you get is really good, because the first one is still 10%, but then the next two are both only 5% to reduce your bleed. Whereas this one, they're all 10%. So I may eventually unlock that extra box for that one. Right now, it's whatever. But I'm doing essentially the exact same thing. It just looks funny. And then I have that 1 point left that I'm going to put over here in Assassin. But I need to buy stuff for it. So let me see. Are we done with all the stuff here? I discussed everything on this screen. Everything needs to be discussed. Yeah, this is terrible. Don't ever buy this. It's really not any good at all. Let's see. Anything else I need discussed in here? I'm not even sure what the science one does. Give science champs. Energy resistance. I guess it might be cool, maybe, if you're running if you were running 5 science champions on defense for Alliance War, and you wanted to really mess with people. You know, you ran a 5-star classic Spider-Man, a 4-star classic Spider-Man, Electro, Spider-Man, Miles, Rhino. That would be a mean defense. Oh, everyone would hate you. But if you took this up to 5 with that defense, you would get so many kills. So many kills. I'm not going science though. I'm going mystics. So I want to try to get as many mystics as I can in there on defense. And then I want them to abuse you and pummel you into the ground. But that would be a really good use for that one. Let's see. Up here then, these ones that I didn't use. Decrease opponent's attack by 2% for each cheering effect they have. It's probably not too bad. Ultimately, I'm just not buying it because I don't think it adds up to be that much. I did buy it. I used it for a little bit. I didn't notice it at all the whole time I had it on. So I did it to get this one, which, you know, as soon as I got this one, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I don't need that at all because my fighting style, I changed it up so drastically. Like, you know, because I was getting hit every once in a while. Like, now I'm getting hit a lot more rare, you know. In Alliance War, basically, if I get hit in Alliance War, I'm dead. So I can't get hit in Alliance War. Because it's set up to be so ridiculously overpowered, you know, with the tier and level that we're at. I can't get hit at all. So, I mean, even having this on won't do me any good, because if I get hit, I'm dead. So, and that's kind of the way I'm dealing with fighting now, is, you know, if you get hit, you're dead, so don't get hit. So, you know, it should be something you should start working on. You know, you can start working on at any point in the game. It'll make the game go a lot easier. By the time you reach my level, you'll be much closer to where people want you to be. I have a pretty high score. I'm over 200,000, but I haven't beat Act 4 yet. So, you know, probably not that many people in the game with 200K score who haven't beat Act 4. So, need to work on it though. I'm getting there. You know, I'm working on it slowly but surely, and I'll get there pretty soon. I think right now I'm doing some pretty good training stuff. So, we'll post some of that in here too on some of these other videos. Let's see, utilities. Anything else in here we need to cover? Not even sure right offhand what this one does. Use cosmic champions with percentage of name bills. Reduces enemy armor up to that. Does that get really good once you get it up real high? Yeah, it's okay. I don't know. I wouldn't really want to. You gotta realize too, when you buy one of these specific skill things, you know, you're only able to use it on 1 divided by 6. What does that wind up in? You're only able to use it on about 17% of your champions. You know, maybe if you're lucky, you can use it on like 20% of your champions because it's all imbalanced. You know, Like right now, because the game keeps giving us mutant champions, throwing the mutant one would be cool if the mutant ability was any good. But I think Mystics, there's probably the second most of for Mystics, and their ability winds up being really good because you're able to use specials so much faster. So we'll do all that. So hopefully this guide so far was pretty helpful. There's one more thing I still want to do. Oops, that's not what I want. We need to go here, and we need to go to the store, because I need to buy a carbon core, and we need 2 stone cores, so you can get them in here. Ooh. How much loyalty do I have? A lot of loyalty. Alright, so let me buy 3 of these right now with my loyalty while it's up here as an option, because I'm going to want to get my Mystic Dispersion all the way up to level 5 eventually. So, with loyalty, I'd probably recommend not using it until you can get like a 4-star. No, you do want to use it. You need to buy your loyalty crystal every single day. You get loyalty by being in an alliance and by giving help to people. It doesn't cost you anything to give help, so it's really good, and it helps them out quite significantly, and helps you out quite significantly when you can ask for help when you're in an alliance in arena, because then you get your champions back a lot quicker. So I need to buy 1 carbon core. And oh, these cost less than I thought. I thought they costed 150. They only cost 135. So they're not necessarily that backbreaking then. So I need to get 75 more units. I'll get that pretty easy. As soon as I hop in the arena, I'll knock that. Actually, no, I'm not even gonna get it from the arena. I'm gonna go do the quest. That doesn't matter. What I'm filming next has no bearing on you at all. But if you do, if you like this and you want to watch me do more, you know, subscribe to the channel. ExtrmWill on Beam, Hitbox, Twitch, YouTube. I think you have to actually search ExtrmWill. You can't just type in ExtrmWill channel on the top. I've got to hit like 1,000 subscribers or something like that first before it'll be labeled off as my name. But you know, Beam, Twitch, and Hitbox, I'm ExtrmWill. YouTube, I'm ExtrmWill also. So hopefully this is helpful to you, and hopefully I can figure out how to upload it to the different servers, because I've never done that before. Let's pull that back. Let's transition back here more to my normal screen. This is kind of what it normally looks like. My chat box then is, I don't know if you can even see it. No, probably not. I don't even know how to do it so you could. I could just get a sheet maybe. Put it over here? No, that won't work. Chat box is normally right over there by Doug's face. He's just chilling on the couch. So, yeah, hopefully this was helpful. If you like it, hit like, subscribe, you know, do whatever your thing lets you do. And good luck out there.